Hi, this is Myra with Boutique Paint. I'm continuing on making spring or Easter decor, and we're doing some bunnies and flowers in some pots. And I went ahead and did the resin. You could also do this with the clay. I wanted the resin because it's a little bit sturdier. If you have not worked with the resin, I have a video that I'll link below to that video, and you can watch that, and I'll give you step by step of what I do. This got a little bit of yellow. Sometimes when the resin gets towards the end of the bottle, it discolors, but we're going to paint it, so we don't care. So I went ahead and did the bunny from Fleur de Lis, and then I did one of the flowers and one of the leaves. Get those set aside so we have some room to move. And I found these cute little pots, and I kind of wanted the scale to be, you know, kind of match the pot. Like this one I thought was too big, but then, you know, if you put other things in there, it might be okay. But I'm going to use the flower for that one. And I'm using a little bit of crinoline DIY paint. I don't want it super painty. Yeah, that's good grammar. So I want just a little bit of the red kind of coming through, but not a ton. Just go around, and you could wipe a little bit of the paint off onto a paper towel too, to offload a little bit of the paint. That looks pretty good. All right. Oop, a little too much. That'll be the back. Sometimes it's a good idea to spray these pots a little bit with some water, because they are terracotta and they are so absorbent. Sometimes they just take the paint a little too much. See, this one I'm not getting quite the same effects that I did on the other one. It's kind of funny. I bought these of all places at the Chinese grocer down the street from us. We went in there to buy some other stuff, and they had these, and I'm like, oh, these are cute shapes, and they're cute sizes. And the funny thing though is, whenever I paint them, it smells like Chinese food. It smells like the grocer, and then I get hungry. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, so a little bit there. You can paint the bottom if you want to. I'm just gonna maybe paint the edges. We'll set that aside, and then we're going to take some popsicle sticks. Grab another one here, and we're going to glue the bunny and the flowers onto our popsicle sticks. I'm just using hot glue for this. If you have time, you could use like E6000 or something like that. Ooh. I got this new hot glue gun, and I like it because it's battery operated, but that being said, every time I'm done, it squirts out a shot of glue, and it's just kind of wasteful. I'm getting the extra glue off of there because I don't want it, when I paint it, I don't want it showing. And then you also got the glue goobers, that strings. Got that a little high, but I think it'll be okay. I can always cut it later with something. Okay. And on the flower, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the flower there. And then, so I have a little something to glue onto. I'm going to cut part of the stem off so that some of the glue's up there and it has just a little bit more base to, I'm going to cut it at an angle. Cut it a little higher. See if that works. Yeah. That way I just have a little bit more surface to glue to. Go ahead and just do the back side of this. Nope. Let's do the flower first so we know. And then I'm just lining the edge of that cut. That's why I cut it on an angle to that. Obviously it would be coming out the side on a real flower, but you know, creative liberty here. And then try to get some of that glue out. And we're ready to go. So next we're going to paint it. And I'm going to do like this and just paint the entire thing. I want the popsicle stick painted. I'm going to paint the back. I'm going to paint the glue threads that came off the hot glue. I like using foam brushes when I'm painting because you can kind of, you know, squish them in there and wiggle them around to get the little nooks and crannies of the mold. That being said, it doesn't have to be a perfect paint job. It's okay if some of the white shows through whatever color you're using. It just gives it a little bit more dimension. We'll have another step to this, and so it's not going to matter a whole lot. Get up in there. Just kind of squish it in there and then drag it down so that the extra paint doesn't just sit there. Oh my gosh, there's glue goobers everywhere, or glue strings. They're taking over. You can see that. I didn't get all the glue off of there either. There we go, a little bit better. And get the edges a little bit, and then you can go on the back side and go ahead and paint that. I'm not going to do that right now because you don't really need to watch me do that. And if you want to, you can use the blow dryer and blow dry the front of it, and then flip it over, blow dry the back, or just, you know, let it do its thing. This paint, you know, most of the paints these days dry so fast that it doesn't take much time. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab the one that I painted earlier, and it's already dry. So I'm going to set this one aside that's wet. This is my bunny that's already dry. I can scoot the paint aside, and we're going to bring in the wax and some of the decrepit dust. And my brushes for my wax. So I'm going to do a clear wax first. I'm just going to kind of hold the bunny in place. Oh, I got too many shadows, sorry about that. I'm just going to hold it in place so that it's not wiggling around too much, and it's also not wanting to pop off the popsicle stick if you use hot glue. And do the front and the back and the stick. It'd be cute to do these either for like table settings, for place card holders, or just your centerpiece. And do them in colors too. All right, I'll get the back of that later. And I'm gonna put a little bit, as soon as I can find my trowel here, I'm gonna take a little dark and decrepit dust, and I'm gonna just put it in the corner there. And then I'm gonna take my brush that I used for that, just get a little bit of it on there, and then just kind of work it into the bunny a little bit. Make sure you get the edges if you're gonna do the dark, so the edges aren't just light colored. This way it gives it kind of a vintagey look to the bunny. And if you wanted, you could, you know, put a little color in the eye. And then let's get the stick a little bit. Set this down to the back. I'm going to be a little less worried about, although you know you do want it to look nice, just in case, you know, it's not going to be against a wall or something. Grab this guy. Did I wax this one? I think I did. Yeah. Oh, just one of those days. Forget what you did 5 minutes later. Who am I kidding? Every day's like that. Sorry about all the shadows. I gotta work on my lighting. It's on the to-do list. Work on better lighting for my work area here. It doesn't have to all be the same. You can have highs and lows. See, I have less there, and you can also wipe it back. If you don't like that, then you can take paper towel and just wipe it back. That's just too much for you. You can put a little extra in the center where it might be a little darker. You can just put a little bit just where the folds are. You can even get a smaller brush and just kind of really get in the details too. Okay. So let's scoot my dust aside so I don't get it on everything. Get the wax. So for the inside of these pots to hold these little guys up, I got this from the dollar store, and it's just a floral foam cone. There's all kinds of things. There's the square ones, but I thought with this might work well because I could cut. That's going to fit in there, and I can cut it, and then I can use the next part of it for the next little guy here, or thereabouts. And I'm going to cut it with just a serrated steak knife. Let's see. I need it a little bit below because the thickness of the bottom of that. It's making a mess. So because this has a lip in there, I'm gonna probably have to cut this down a smidge on the edges, but in the meantime I'll go ahead and see, will this one fit? Yeah, so we'll do that. Same thing, I'm going to cut it a little short, and hopefully this one goes right in, and it's a little tall. You know, a lot of this stuff, this is got the big little things that they use to make it. But in packing material, you know, that's a little finer. So if you have any of that, if you have something that comes in a package, that would be perfect. So that works for that guy. I'm gonna have to cut. Our bunny's got them on it now. Added fur. Let's see. I'm going to cut in a little bit. But yeah, this stuff, I hate to say, it's not recyclable. I mean, in some areas, like on certain days, we can recycle this stuff. But it's kind of hard. So when you get it as packaging, not that we want a lot of stuff just sitting around for whatever craft project we're doing next, right? But it doesn't hurt to keep like a small amount of that kind of stuff for things like this. And then you're not buying something too, and you're saving yourself some money, even if it is just dollar store. Okay, I'm going to stop the camera real quick, and I'm going to clean up, and we'll go on from there. Okay, got the mess all cleaned up, and it was a mess. Yeah, I think if I had the opportunity to have the denser stuff of this, I would definitely use that, especially if I was going to make quite a few of them. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of wax. I re-waxed this one on the outside. You could also put some of the dark wax or dust on this too if you wanted to make it a little bit more antique-y. I kind of like, I think right now, I like what the look it's got right for this minute. You can always go back later. I'm going to, I think for the sunflower, I've got some of this thick twine. I'm just thinking maybe, you know, wrapping it around a couple times. And just tie a little, do a knot or a bow. I think I'm just going to do it like that, and then I'm going to just put a smidge of a dollop of hot glue and then roll it onto it to hold it. There we go. And this one, do I want ribbon? Maybe some green ribbon, just to bring a little color into it, or some pink. I've got this cute pink ribbon, or maybe I'll just leave it alone. I don't know. I also have ribbon. That would be cute. Maybe I'll do that. It's not as cream color that I usually like. This one's a white, but we'll use it anyway. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just put a smidge of glue on the back. Find the halfway point just to hold it. Bring it to the front. See if I can do a bow. I'm so bad at bows. It's one of those things I definitely need to like work on. I was in the bridal industry for 10 years. You think I could tie a bow, but no. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little one more thing of glue. And then we're going to put some moss on top of this. Now, I don't know if you've ever done hot glue on top of foam. It melts. I will show you, just so you know. The other way you could do this is use a different type of glue. You could use like craft glue or whatnot. But I will show you just so you know what it looks like. In the meantime, I'm going to get out my glue because I think I will do it both ways depending on how this goes. All right. So I got a little glob of the moss, and you can see it's melting it. So you got to work kind of fast. Not saying it doesn't work, it's just, it does literally melt the foam and creates craters. Now you could either put the popsicle stick in ahead of time. Oh, I'm out of glue. And then put the moss in around it. I'll do that with the other one. Go ahead and put that in the center. Wiggle it down in there. There we go. And then I'm going to use, on this one, I'll use just regular glue. And this is just tacky glue. And I'm going to just kind of be a little bit liberal with it. Get the lid back on that. And I just got this moss from the dollar store also. I just want to kind of just get it kind of sprinkled in there. Once it's glued, you can take your scissors. This has got pieces of dirt in it. It's so authentic. You can take your scissors and go along and trim these little imperfections if you want to. If you don't care, then leave them. So just go around, and you can always add a smidge more glue if you need to. It should dry clear. It's sticking to my fingers too. All right. Let me scoot my mossy mess away here. Okay. And there it is. That one's all done. And then I'll get my bunny facing the right way. Now the advantage to making your foam just a little bit recessed into the pot is it would help the moss stay in place, but then also you wouldn't have these little edges that I have showing right now. But you can always just, if you have any showing, just add more glue. And it's a little crooked. Add more glue and just add more moss. So, and there's that one. Pretty cute. So yeah, I'm gonna just take this glue and I'm just gonna go along the edge. Sorry if that wasn't in view. And you can just go in with just little sprigs of it. That's a nice little, oh, that would be kind of cute. Just, you know, you can have it crawling up it. I'm going to set that one aside because I might use that for something. Not that I don't have a whole grouping of it, but that's a nice little branch. So yeah, just get your, and you can use this little powdery stuff too. Just sprinkle it in there. There we go. and you don't see it. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions about any of the products that you have seen today, you can go to our website at www.boutiquepaint.com. Thank you.